A can of Folgers lost almost half a pound of coffee. Toilet paper lost 40 sheets. Family-size cereal isn't family size anymore. Companies didn't hide it. They counted on nobody noticing. Most folks call it inflation. Sometimes it's something else. And by number 1, I'll show you the one family that caught a billion-dollar company and forced them to reverse course. Here are 10 products that quietly got smaller while the price stayed the same. Number 10. Doritos. This is the one almost everybody's heard about by now, and I'm starting here on purpose because the company actually admitted it, out loud, to reporters. A regular bag of Doritos used to weigh 9.75 ounces. Now it's 9.25. That's about 5 chips gone out of every bag. And when Frito-Lay got asked about it, a spokesperson basically shrugged and said inflation was hitting everybody, so they decided to take a little bit out of the bag instead of raising the price. Here's why you never felt it. A chip bag is pumped full of nitrogen gas. That's the air in there. It's not the company being cheap with the puff. The gas keeps the chips from getting crushed on the truck. But it also means the bag looks just as full and weighs just about the same, whether there's 9 ounces in it or 9.5. You can't tell by holding it. You'd have to open it and weigh it. So they took the chips, and the bag of air covered for them. I don't get too worked up over a snack. Nobody's retirement turns on a bag of Doritos, but it's a clean little window into the whole game. I've been pulling these apart for a couple of weeks now, and I'll be honest with you, once you see how it's done, you can't go back to not seeing it. You'll be standing in the cereal aisle squinting at a box like a detective. So let me show you the rest. Number 9. Your toilet paper. I'll use Quilted Northern here, but understand, almost every brand on that shelf has done a version of this. The Mega Roll quietly dropped from 295 sheets down to 255. 40 sheets, gone. Buy a 6-pack, and you've basically been handed 5 rolls and charged for 6. And the reason you didn't notice is almost clever. They wind the paper looser around the cardboard tube, so the roll still looks fat. It still spins onto the holder the same way. It's just got less on it. You don't find out until you're reaching for it more often than you used to. Now, I don't want you taking my word for this, so let me give you the cleanest source there is. A United States Senator, Bob Casey, put out a report on exactly this. Household paper products got about 34.9% more expensive between 2019 and late 2023. And more than 10% of that increase, a tenth of it, came purely from companies making the rolls smaller. That's not some guy on the internet. That's a Congressional report. Toilet paper is about the most non-negotiable thing you buy. You can skip the chips. You cannot skip this. And that's exactly why it's such an easy place to shave a little off and bet you'll never do the arithmetic. Number 8. Gatorade. This one I almost can't say with a straight face. A big bottle of Gatorade went from 32 ounces down to 28. 4 ounces just gone. And when somebody from the company got asked why, they didn't say inflation. They didn't say costs. They said, and I promise I'm not making this up, that the bottle had been redesigned to be more aerodynamic. Aerodynamic. A bottle of sports drink, sitting still, on a shelf, in a grocery store. Where exactly is it flying off to? Here's what I think is really going on, and I suspect you already know it. When a company shrinks a product and tells you the truth, you get mad at the company. When they shrink it and dress it up, better for the planet, easier in your hand, more aerodynamic. They're hoping you get a little confused instead of a little angry. Confused people don't switch brands, they just pay. And the price didn't even drop to match the smaller bottle. At a lot of stores, it went up. So you're paying more for less, and you're supposed to feel grateful for the engineering. Number 7. Tide. Quick question. When's the last time you actually read the back of your laundry detergent? The tiny print down by the cap? Right, nobody does. And Procter & Gamble is counting on that. The big orange bottle of Tide has been shrinking for years. It used to hold 100 ounces, then 92, then 84, now 80. But that's not even the part that gets me. Here's the part that gets me. When they made the bottle smaller, they left the measuring cap exactly the same size. Same cap, same lines inside it. The old instructions told you to fill it to just below the line. The new instructions, in print so small you'd need your good glasses and a strong lamp, tell you to fill it only 80% of the way up. Now, think about how you actually do laundry. You're not reading microscopic directions every load. You fill the cap to where you've always filled it, because your hands have been doing this for 30 years, which means you're pouring too much every single time and burning through the bottle faster than you should. I'll say plainly what I think that is. That's a company using your own habits against you. They know older folks especially run on muscle memory and trust, and they built the whole thing around it. That one's not careless. That one's designed. Number 6, the cereal aisle. And this is where the trick gets sneaky enough that I need to slow down and show you how the whole thing really works. Take Honey Bunches of Oats. The box that says family size used to hold 23 ounces. Now the box that says family size holds 18. Same 2 words on the front, 5 ounces less inside, and the price barely budged. So how do they get away with calling an 18-ounce box the same thing they used to call a 23-ounce box? Simple. They invented a brand new size above it and called it giant size, which is now what the old family size used to be. They didn't really shrink the cereal. They slid every label down a notch and hoped you wouldn't catch it. And here's the part that explains all 10 of these. There's a reason companies shrink the package instead of just raising the price. It's because of how your brain works, and they've studied it. When the price on the tag goes up, you notice. It stings. You might put it back, but when the box quietly gets smaller and the price stays the same, almost nobody notices. We're wired to watch the number on the tag, not the number on the side of the box. So shrinking the product is the path of least resistance. It's a price increase you're not supposed to feel. And let me knock down the excuse before they reach for it. The companies will tell you their costs went up. They had no choice. Except the Federal Reserve looked at corporate profits from 2020 to 2022, and profits didn't just hold up, they jumped about 75%, roughly 5 times faster than inflation itself. So this wasn't survival. A lot of it was a margin grab, with a hard time story stapled to the front of it. Number 5, Folgers. And now we're back to that coffee can from the very beginning. 51 ounces down to 43.5. That's 7.5 ounces of coffee, nearly half a pound, lifted right out of the can. But the can looks about the same on the shelf, and the label still promises the same 400 cups it always did. Stop and think about that for 1 second. Less coffee, same number of cups. The only way that works is if every scoop got smaller, which means every cup got weaker, which means you're either making worse coffee or reaching for the can more often. There's no magic. The math has to come out of your pocket somewhere. When people pushed back, Smucker, that's the company that owns Folgers, didn't apologize. They said they'd developed a new roasting technology that makes the grounds lighter, so you supposedly get the same coffee from less weight, which is a very fancy way of saying, trust us. Some folks took it to court, down in Missouri, and argued the 400 cups claim was just false. And you'd think that's a slam dunk, right? It got thrown out. An appeals court decided that because everybody brews their coffee a little differently, some strong, some weak, you couldn't prove the whole group of customers got fooled the same way. So the case fell apart. I bring that up for a reason. Don't sit around waiting for a courtroom to fix this for you. The law mostly sides with the people who wrote the fine print. The only real protection you've got is your own 2 eyes in the aisle, and we'll get to exactly how to use them. Number 4. Thomas's Bagels. This is a quieter one, but it stuck with me, so it's on the list. A bag of Thomas's Bagels, the 6 count you've grabbed 100 times, went from 20 ounces down to 18. Still 6 bagels in there. They just made each one a little smaller and a little less dense. And years back, that same bag was 24 ounces. So this has been a slow drip for a long time. What gets me about this one is what's actually being taken. It's not air in a chip bag, it's food. They even updated the label to show about 30 fewer calories per bagel. Now, 30 calories doesn't sound like much, but sit with what it means. Somebody, in a real meeting, looked at breakfast for a working family or a retired couple and decided the smart move was to make the meal a little smaller and keep the price the same. That's the whole business, right there in a bag of bagels. Not flashy, just a little less on the plate, quietly, hoping nobody at the table counts. Number 3. Tropicana. The orange juice you grew up on has been shrinking for years. That big 64-ounce carton walked itself down over time to 52, and on some shelves, all the way to 46 ounces. 6 ounces gone in the latest cut alone. That's a couple of mornings worth of juice, just vanished. But here's the part that takes it from annoying to insulting. The company didn't say sorry. They turned it into a favor. They bragged that the new bottle uses 61% less plastic and is easier to store in your fridge door. So, you've lost juice, you're paying about the same per glass, and somehow, you're supposed to feel good about helping the environment. And I think you ought to know who's behind that one. Tropicana isn't really run by an orange juice company anymore. It got bought up by a private equity firm. That's a Wall Street outfit whose whole job is to buy a brand, squeeze more money out of it, and move on. Once you know that, the 6 missing ounces make perfect sense. That juice didn't evaporate. It got moved. Off your breakfast table and onto somebody's spreadsheet. And that's the pattern under almost all of this. It usually isn't some mustache-twirling villain in a back room. It's a quiet decision by people who will never meet you, who decided your morning was a place they could find a few more pennies. Number 2. Tillamook ice cream. A carton of Tillamook went from 56 ounces down to 48. That's a full cup and a half of ice cream, gone out of a tub that looks just about identical to the old one. Per scoop, you're now paying around 17% more. And ice cream's a funny thing to lose. It's not a staple, nobody needs it, but that's almost what makes it sting. For a lot of folks on a fixed income, ice cream is the little treat, the one thing in the cart that's just for enjoying. And shrinking the treat means you either settle for a smaller bowl or you buy it more often. Either way, the simple pleasure costs you more than it used to. But I'm putting Tillamook at number 2 for a reason that might surprise you. Because of all 10 companies on this list, Tillamook is the one that actually told the truth. They came right out and said it. We cut the carton from 56 to 48 ounces to keep the price the same. No aerodynamic nonsense, no fairy tale about lighter coffee grounds. Just, here's what we did, and here's why. And I'll tell you, that honesty is worth something to me. I'm still not thrilled about losing the ice cream, but a company that looks you in the eye and tells you what it's doing is a different animal than one that hides it in the fine print and bets you're too old or too busy to catch it. Hold on to that idea, because it's the whole point of where we're going next. Number 1. Reese's, and the man who got one of these companies to back down. This one's a little different from the rest because Reese's didn't shrink the package, they changed what was inside it. Early in 2026, the Hershey company quietly redid the recipe on some of its Reese's, the little holiday hearts and the mini eggs a lot of you buy for the grandkids. They took out real milk chocolate and real peanut butter and swapped in cheaper stuff. Vegetable oils instead of cocoa butter. The bargain version of the thing you thought you were buying. And you could see it right on the package if you knew where to look. They legally couldn't call it milk chocolate anymore because it no longer met the government's definition of milk chocolate. So the words on the front quietly changed to chocolate candy. The peanut butter became peanut butter cream. Same wrapper you've trusted your whole life, a cheaper thing inside it. Now here's where it turns. There's a man named Brad Reese. He's the grandson of H.B. Reese, the actual fellow who invented the Reese's peanut butter cup in the first place. And Brad Reese was not having it. In February of 2026, he wrote an open letter and put it out for the whole world to see. He held up the labels, showed people exactly what had been swapped out, and he said plainly, "This is not what my grandfather made." It went everywhere, and people listened. The backlash was enormous. Folks who'd bought that candy for 50 years let Hershey hear about it, online, on the phone, at the register. And on the 1st of April 2026, Hershey folded. They announced they were bringing the real recipe back, the real chocolate, the real peanut butter, across the board. Now I'm going to be straight with you, the way I always try to be. That doesn't fix it overnight. The fine print on that promise says the classic milk chocolate and dark chocolate recipes don't come back until 2027, across all their Reese's. So this is a turnaround you'll taste later, not next week. But sit with what still happened here. One determined man, with the truth and a label in his hand, and enough regular people standing behind him, and a multi-billion-dollar company got publicly backed into putting it right. It happened with something else, too. A buttery spread called Smart Balance. They quietly watered the recipe down, cut the oil, added water. People noticed. The reviews got brutal. Folks called it yellow water in a tub. And the company put the old recipe back. Same story. Pushback worked. So before you go, let me make this useful, because that's the deal on this channel. I'm not going to leave you just feeling robbed. Here are 2 things you can actually do, starting on your very next grocery trip. First, look at the little tag on the shelf. Not the big price, the small box down in the corner that says price per ounce or price per sheet. That tiny number is the one place in the whole store where they have to tell you the honest truth. The big price can sit still while that little number climbs. Train your eye to that box, and the trick stops working on you. You'll start catching it on your own. Second, when a brand pulls this on you, say so, out loud. Leave the review. Call the number on the back of the package. Tell your kids, tell your friends, tell the folks at church. The Reese's story and the Smart Balance story prove the one thing these companies actually fear. And it isn't a lawsuit. The courts let them walk. It's you, paying attention, out loud, in numbers. That they can't ignore. Now, I'm going to be straight with you about one more thing, because being straight with you is the whole reason this channel exists. Shrinkflation is real, and it's worth catching. But it is not the reason your entire grocery bill went through the roof. The government's own watchdog, the GAO, looked hard at this and found it's only a small slice of the total. Anybody telling you it explains everything is selling you a scare. And it's also, by the way, perfectly legal. As long as the new weight is printed on the package somewhere, they're allowed to do it. So this isn't a crime. It's just a quiet little trick. The fix isn't outrage. The fix is a careful eye and a loud mouth. So now I want to hear from you. What's the one that got you? The cereal box that's somehow taller and emptier? The roll that runs out too fast? The candy that doesn't taste like it used to? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. And these stories, the real ones from your own kitchen, are the best part of my week. And if this opened your eyes a little and you want more videos where we go behind the label and show you how it really works, do me a favor and subscribe. It's that round red button right underneath this video. Just tap it once and you'll know the next time we post. This is EconoNova. Keep an eye on the price of milk.